Hey, howdy, how are you doing today? This is Gerald with Gerald's Lawn Service. This here's my Toro Timemaster. Y'all have seen it before. Hey, first off, be sure to subscribe and like the video. But basically on these Timemasters, there are some issues with them. Y'all know I talk highly about them. I think they're a fine mower, but that does not mean that they're with no issues. There's a lot of issues with them, okay? One of the issues that occurs, now this is a 2018, and this is the trailer flap. The other day I was doing a scalp job on a yard that was overgrown with big tall weeds, and my riding lawnmower didn't have a bagger on it, so I scalped it with the riding lawnmower, and then I went over it with the Toro set at 1.75 inches with the bagger and bagged up all the crud, you know, all the weeds. But the trailing flap I never had problems with. Now a lot of folks have. You see a lot of videos where that trailing flap starts to tear in this corner up here, and mine was too. After all these years, it was tore. There's no reason to deny it. But when I was doing that scalp job, I had it set down way low at 1.75, and I'm going to tell you something. When I went to pull that mower in reverse, when I went to pull on it and pulled it in reverse, that old flap folded up in there and got caught in them blades, and it tore its slap off of there. So I had bought this one a few years back when one of the folks I subscribed to was talking about the problems he was having, and he did a great modification with some heavy duty flaps off of a John Deere and a piece of all thread. And yeah, I think that's the way to go actually. But I bought this, and I've had it now for 2 years. I bought it in 2020, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on there, and we'll see how long it lasts. Now, what I did do is I took some Gorilla Tape and I reinforced it up here, and we'll see if that don't help any at all. But as you can see, I've got my mower blocked up. I don't have jack stands here where I'm working on it today, but I just got it blocked up. I got the deck set to the lowest setting, and then I just put 2 blocks of wood, one on each side. I'm gonna pull them tires off, and we'll go from there. All right. This here is a 9/16. Now when you pull this guard off here, pay attention to your washer. You'll need it. You'll need it. All right, down here on the side are these little old screw heads that you got to take off of there. So we'll switch over and pull them off real quick. Let's see what we got here. Now it's just a little bitty old screw, and it's plastic, so you got to be careful with it or you'll strip it out. But it's just a little bitty old screw that holds it in there. One on each side. Another little old screw. And then you just pull it out. Basically it'll bend and you just pull it out. Now you can see right away where it's sheared off. Shears off, starts shearing in the corners. And I mean, it basically just shears right off. So anyway, I've got this one reinforced. We're gonna put it back in there real quick. And you just bend it back up in there. And then it'll just bend it and it'll pop right out. Now look, when you screw these back in fact, let me go ahead and do that. Yeah, we get used to using them power tools for everything, and believe me, I love them. But being that this is a screw going into this plastic, we don't want to go too tight on it. If you tighten it in there too tight, before you know it, you'll strip that screw out of there. And you only get one shot at this. So you just screw it in there until it gets flush, and that's it. That's it. All right. We're gonna come on the other side. See, it's just, I tell people this all the time about these Timemasters. We use them in commercial applications. Most of the videos y'all watch and I watch, they're being used in a commercial application. This is a homeowner model though. I really consider it a pro-consumer. It's really not a commercial model. And so actually the things on this are not built to a commercial specification. So when you're using it in a commercial application, first off, you got to handle it different, okay? Because you know, this is all connected. It's not all one piece. You can fold this. Anywhere there's a nut or a screw or the ability to fold is a weak point. That's why on the commercial mowers they don't do all that folding up. So this is just really cheap. It's really bad engineering, and so you have to be careful on it. And you got your flap on there. Everything's good to go. All right. And our flap's on there. But anyway, let's go ahead and give her a start. Now on these Toros, with this electric start, now this one's been started and warmed up, it'll probably start on the first bump. But when you get up in the morning time and you're coming to start this thing, what I have found over the years is that if you bump it once, let off. Don't keep grinding on the starter. Just bump it good and then hit it again. It'll start right up. Usually I believe that gives that choke time to set when you do it that way. The other thing is look, there's no alternators on this. The starter battery is only as good as the charge that's in it. Now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't need to charge this thing, but usually once a year. This year I've already had to charge it twice, and I'm in year 4. But once I started out on a job, I usually will keep it running unless I'm fueling up. I don't ever fuel up a small engine with it running. Anyway, let's go ahead and get it started. All right, well that's it for today on changing that flap with old Gerald's Lawn Service.